Alright, this is Death Metal, the Multiversity's one-shot one, and this is good. Maybe Death Metal is going to be good in the end. It is definitely going to be the last DC book I buy, and I mean that. I really do. This time, I mean it. I will let Death Metal and the Green Lanterns ones gander their end, and then I am done. For real. I've said it before, but I really mean it this time. Even if they do, like, a Justice Society of Superheroes book with the perfect team lineup, written by whoever I think the best writer is at the minute. I don't know. Dr. Alan Pokemon, he wasn't bad. Anyway, this comic, it is the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. The Green Lantern's corpse, they have gone out into the multiverse to save the day somehow. I cannot remember how. But Alvin Stewart, he has ran into Nighthawk from Squadron Supreme. Nighthawk is the evil Batman from the Justice League of Crime. And Nighthawk is weirdly like the main character in this. He is interesting and he has a character arc in that. You see, Nighthawk, he was the original evil version of Batman, and now he is feeling like redundant. He is depressed and directionless because Batman, who does a laugh, came along and took his shtick as the evil version of Batman. Oh, you turn into a reet diva when you didn't have your Snickers. Then we have a subplot, and our subplot is about Gary Gardner and Captain Carrot, and how Captain Carrot, he is still like hopeful and optimistic, even in the middle of this crossover. And down there is the Flask's daughter from that Tiny Titans story. The Tiny Titans from the future one. Well, she is in this. So we get to see some of the other Green Lanterns, Gedeon stuff, Jordan Albert, Kyle Reese, the two diverse ones. I just read this and I cannot remember what their mission is. I think it is gathering some energy or something from all these different worlds in the multiverse. Then we have got President Barack Obama, Superman. He makes an appearance. Maybe the end of the story is Obamacare can help everyone after the crossover is finished. Because, like, Batman, he needs a new arm. So now we get some of the backstory and the genesis of the Dark Multiverse and Perpetual Girl and other stuff like that. And offering this backstory seems to be the main plot of Death Metal. We learn how it's all tied to all the big Christmas events, like Christmas on Infinite Earths and Uncle Monitor. And again, we've had all this in the main series. It is done the best in this issue. It's explained the clearest in this. But it is crazy how many times they keep repeating themselves in this crossover. The subplot with Captain Carrot, it is nice. And it's always good when Gary Gardner isn't just written as a one-dimensional arsehole. It is death metal though, so here is an evil version of Batman, and it is Batman who is a chibi off of DeviantArt. With Alvin Stewart and Nighthawk, the plot is that Alvin Stewart, he is trying to convince Nighthawk that he should help out, he should join forces with the heroes and oppose the designs of the dark multiverse and Batman who does a laugh. And Nighthawk, he is only really drawn to this idea as a means of getting back at Batman who does a laugh and re-establishing himself as the one true evil version of Batman. We have some more of that repetitive backstory, but at least this time they bothered to count 0 hours, Christmas in time. I do like whenever we get to see Jordan Albert back when he wasn't a boring character and he had a cape. Over here we have Infinite Christmas. Down here is Final Christmas. And this is the original Metal Dark Knight. I feel like my reviews of death metal, they are not very good because I seem to be quickly getting through it. But the thing is, they are these weird comics where we both have limited stuff actually happening, but also we have these ideas or concepts that would take forever to explain, and they're just not worth the time it would take to explain. Like, one thing is how Nighthawk, after each Christmas event, the multiverse was changed or restructured, and this affected Nighthawk and the Squadron Supreme, and there have been like 6 or 7 different versions of Nighthawk with like different identities and that. But the same basic idea of an evil Batman remains the same. And the Squadron Supreme, famously, they died in the first issue of Christmas on Infinite Earths. Here's the bit about that, actually. They died, and then they were introduced and revamped in the 90s by Van Morrison. And then they were brought back again after that. And then they were remade again in the New 52. So this quite cleverly addresses all that, all the changes, and it makes it part of the story and part of Nighthawk's big character development. He realises that the idea of Nighthawk, it persists even after all these reboots and resets, whereas Batman who does a laugh, he is just a fleeting nightmare from the dark multiverse that will pass. He will outlive Batman who does a laugh, and he will always be the evil Batman. Very good stuff. So Nighthawk, he decides to call off the Squadron Supreme and strike out against Batman who does a laugh, because he knows he might die, but Nighthawk will come back in some form. Here he fights Batman, who is a chibi off of DeviantArt. And Nighthawk, he sets off a big bomb and he wins. And this has some wider effect to the overall death metal story, because now the big cosmic bad guys, they cannot absorb all the energy from the Squadron Supreme's Earth, because Nighthawk blew up the whole planet. And we'll finish this review by telling you that Kyle Reese needs a haircut. These last few parts of death metal have been fairly strong or promising. They were all spin-off one-shots, and so much more has happened in them than our in the main series. I didn't think I should be recommending anything until we see how the crossover ends. But this one and the Flask one were definitely good. I rate it 7 thumbs up.